Better. Perfect. There we go. Thanks everybody for being here for the pre-match press conference for South Africa and Namibia. We've got Mark Jones, who's one of the assistant coach with Namibia with us, AJ de Klerk and PJ Walters. So we'll go straight into some questions from the floor. Just put your hands up nice and high and we'll get a microphone to you so the translation back in Tokyo can pick it up. Let's go ahead, and we'll go with Sam at the front here.
Hello, gentlemen. First question, please, to Mark. Reflecting on last week against Italy, given your position as the attack coach, how pleased were you with the attacking shape and the tries that you scored, and how are you looking forward to building on that for the South Africa game?
Translation first.
No, go ahead.
Hey, good afternoon, everyone. Look, there was elements of our game that we were really pleased with. As you mentioned, we scored 3 very good tries, all on things that we had identified maybe as a potential for us to pick points up, particularly the set-piece plays, which is always pleasing. You spend some time on an area, it's always nice to get a reward. I think our attacking shape in phase play is a work-on for us. It's an area that we are targeting this week to try and improve when we have possession of the ball, because we understand that with the Springboks, they're a particularly aggressive team without possession, and we'll need to make sure that we've got attacking threats right across the pitch, and we need to make sure that we've got good support to the ball carrier as well. So that'll be an element we'd like to build on top of, as what you say was a decent enough start, in many ways from the Italy game.
Yeah, you want another question, Sam? And then we'll go to this one.
Thank you. Also, in the 2 matches that Namibia have played against South Africa, only 1 try has been scored, obviously a few years ago. How much is the objective to potentially score more? And you were only 1 try away from getting that bonus point there as well. So is that something to target as well?
Yeah, I think so. We, as a squad, I've only been with the squad some 8 weeks, so coming in as an outside influence, observing the environment, we're always keen just to keep getting better, and I think that's always been the main objective in my time with the squad: is can we be better than we were yesterday? Can we be better than we were in the last game? And I think this group has shown progression right from our first game against the Sharks select team down in Durban, right through from the Kings games into the Italy game. We've shown improvement, which I suppose when you look at the makeup of the domestic game in Namibia and the international game, that's a really important part. We understand the animals that we're playing against. We're playing against Tier 1 nations in the first 3 games, and it's a huge challenge. So all we can do is control the things that we're in charge of and make sure that they're better and keep layering our performances, and hopefully that will lead to a good result in the future.
Coach, South Africa have picked a bit more of an attacking team, you could perhaps say, looking to throw the ball around a bit more. Does that create opportunities for you, do you think? Or is it a double-edged sword in that you have to then defensively also?
Look, I got a huge amount of respect for South Africa. I was fortunate enough to take the field against them myself. Obviously not this group of players, and you can just put their names in a hat and pull them out one by one, and it'll be a great side, whatever field a team takes the field. But yeah, I understand what you're saying. They've got exciting halfbacks. They've got a very poignant weapon in Mampipi, and Steyn is a very experienced campaigner in the midfield. Seems like he's been around forever. Such a young man, achieving a lot at a young age. So they've got a huge amount of weaponry in their arsenal in the back line, and they've got a very experienced pack of forwards there, and a very big pack of forwards that can provide good ball. I suppose the question you're asking me is, might they make a few mistakes and offer us some turnover ball? We hope so. But I think we have to rely on ourselves being resilient in defence, being as aggressive as we can be, and trying our very best to match fire with fire, and hopefully we can create some turnovers, because there's no doubt it's the best attacking ball you can get in the modern game.
We have a question right down the back. We might take that one first, and then we'll come back here.
My name is Sadiq Shaban from Nairobi. This question goes to the players. I'm just going to try and squeeze 2, so each one of you, if you have a chance, you can answer it. 20 years ago, it's been a long time since Namibia was first here, and the weight, for the win keeps, perhaps getting longer by the match. You think this is the squad that is going to, give Namibian perhaps their first win? And the second question is, how far do you think the team is going to go this time? I mean, looking at everything that so far you have encountered, looking at the teams and the aspirations that you're putting through to this game.
Good evening. I think that it comes a long way to search for that first win. As you said, from 20 years ago, I think both of us are still very young. We started to think about playing here about from 2003 maybe. Perhaps not our next game, our first win, but we are sure that we want to build on our previous performances. We will take all the positives from the Italy game into the South Africa game and try to improve on that. And then whatever the outcomes will bring, we will take that forward to the New Zealand game as well, and then to Canada. And hopefully in one of the next 3 games, we will get that first win we've been seeking for.
I think we have a question down the front here. Yeah.
Just for PJ, you're obviously very new at this level and such a massive game to come into. Just your thoughts ahead of it, your personal feelings, and what a moment this is for you.
Good evening, all. Yes, it's a great privilege to get the opportunity to represent my country at the world stage. The nerves are sky high. It's something that I've been dreaming of, imagining my whole life, and I can't explain the feelings. It's very big. So we've got a great group, and everyone's just been working together and standing as a pack.
Could I just do as a follow-up to that? As players, you're obviously training all week, and what is kind of on your mind ahead of tomorrow? The coach was talking about how the collisions being a big area. Just your thought processes on the actual game itself.
Well, I've been thinking a lot that just stick to the basics. Do everything what we've been training for the past few months, and not try anything stupid, but just stick to the basics.
Mark, you said you joined the squad not so long ago. What were your impressions about the facilities in Namibia? Especially, we were told that there's a new training center, and about the country as well.
Well, the impressions about the country and the people in the country have been, fantastic. We've been welcomed with open arms, myself and Dale, along with Phil, obviously, who's been there longer than ourselves. Whether it's the staff in the hotel that we stayed in, or the people in the restaurant that we go and have food with, and perhaps more importantly, the players who have welcomed us into their environment, they've been tremendous. The application that they've given us as outside coaches coming in, trying to adopt new ideas, embracing maybe new things that maybe they haven't been exposed to before, has been terrific. So from a coach's perspective, you always look at the character of the players first and foremost, and then you can build everything else off that. You can work on their skills, you can work on their kicking, their passing, the tactical awareness, but you need individuals that want to learn and they want to get better, and this group have shown in abundance that they want to do that. In relation to Namibian rugby, obviously I won't lie and pretend that I have know the history of it, but it's clear that it's come a very long way in a short space of time. And I think it's been driven a lot by key individuals, particularly the playing and coaches over the years that have gone past. And they are slowly but surely developing the game in the country as a whole, which I think in long term will have a big benefit. It's very difficult to make quantum leaps in rugby. The domestic game is growing, but it takes time. But it certainly looks in a far healthier place than perhaps where it has been in the years gone past.
Sam, just if
PJ, question for you as well. As I understand it, you were one of the only uncapped players in the World Cup squad before obviously getting your cap last week. Can you just give us an idea about how you found out that you were going to be part of that. And Scout Brits earlier was saying that he, on the other end of the spectrum, was called up when he was in Ibiza having cocktails to be told he was back in the squad. Is there anything similar for you? Like, were you just playing university level and then you suddenly found yourself playing the Springboks?
I'd say yes. It was a very big feeling for me at the moment. I wasn't aware of it, and the day I got the news, it was a very great feeling. I was also just having a bride by my cousin, just chilling off feet, and as the news got through, I can't explain the feeling. It was something big, and coming from where I'm come from, it's a very big feeling.
This is for Mark. What have you guys done differently, considering past results, to create belief within the team that they can do something special?
Yeah, there's no magic formula really for winning. If there was, I think we'd all be out buying it as coaches. But I think you have to look at the strengths of your group, what their DNA is, what excites them about the game, and then certainly what I've tried to do is grow that. You know, I have a positive way of playing the game personally, as someone who played for teams that were renowned for playing a fast, exciting game and playing with the ball in hand, and I've tried to impose that onto the group in terms of the mentality. I'm fortunate it suits the players, it suits the other coaches within the group as well. And I think what we're trying to do is to leave a legacy so that when these players move on and coached by other coaches, they have, as many weapons in their armory as they can have. You know, the game, you can play that rugby union, a multitude of ways, as you all very well know. And the best players in the world are the most adaptable ones. And I think we're trying to create a playing group here that are renowned for a way of playing, i.e. skillfully and fast, but also understanding that sometimes you have to put it up the jumper and play a little bit more boring and play a little bit more pragmatically. And I think because this group is so young, I think that maybe will be the next step for them, is that ability to adapt the game for the circumstances that present themselves. But I've been, there's been nothing fun, there's been nothing secret about it. We just hard work, and with some keen philosophies from both players and coaches aligned.
This is Gus Peter. This, as many people say, it will not just be a rugby match. It has a lot of regional significance. It has a lot of continental significance. These are two African teams playing in the Rugby World Cup in Asia for the first time. Is there any sense of pride in that? And will there be any love lost between yourselves and South Africa tomorrow?
I don't think that any love will be lost, but because it's our neighboring country, we represent Africa together, and I just think it will be a great clash between the two countries as we are neighbors. So I just feel it's going to be a great atmosphere because both of us are from Africa, and it's just a very big opportunity.
PJ, can I just ask, a lot has been made in this World Cup about the high tackles and whatnot. Is there anything that you as players are kind of thinking, is it in the back of your mind the whole time that you don't want to make that error, nothing malicious, but you don't want to make that error of going and do high? Are you adjusting your game in any way?
Yes, no, that's definitely in our minds, as you can get cited as well. So we're trying to stay as in the rules as possible. And I mean, the low cut is the best tackle that we get. So I think we're just going to go back to our basics.
I think we have one at the front here, just right here. Put your hand up. That's it.
Marco from Namibia Press Agency. You spoke about the team being young. So does this mean that it's a learning experience for the players for the next World Cup?
Yes, I think, I certainly, Phil has had a mind on creating a legacy for not just this World Cup, but for future World Cups. I think we've tried to select a group of players that first and foremostly are willing and worthy of playing in this World Cup. We believe they're the best players, but we also believe that they have a great opportunity to take all of this good work that they've put together over the last 3 or 4 years and and really develop that for the next World Cup. I think if you can keep the nucleus core of these players together, if these players can play at the highest possible level that they possibly can between now and then you should have a very settled, experienced group, which will hopefully be a great platform for any young talent that comes into the squad over the next 4 or 5 years. So yes, there has been one eye on that, and I do believe that like anything, experience is very important. But I think these guys are here on merit at this World Cup as well. They deserve to be here. They were the best players as we saw it to do a job in this World Cup. But hopefully they will also leave a legacy for every young Namibian coming through the ranks at the moment, that they could play alongside these guys in 4 years, and these guys will then pass on great experience to them from their time in Japan.
Okay, well, I think this might be our last question before we close on.
To all three, but especially to Mark as well. South Africa and New Zealand, what are the main objectives you're hoping to take out of these 2 matches that will put you in the best position to get that victory over Canada in the last game?
Well, we have 3 very tough games remaining. Obviously, on paper, the South Africa game and the New Zealand game look the tougher of the experiences, but we're by no way suggesting that the Canada's suddenly a game that we've got this divine right to win. I think you saw last evening their game; they were a very competitive team. So, again, I'll go back to my point, and I suppose it's a boring point that you're sick of writing down. We're trying to layer our performances at the moment. Winning doesn't just happen. It's based on performance. It's based on developing your performances and making sure that you don't make the same mistakes that you have, potentially have cost you in previous games. And so we're just looking for that next step up. And if that means scoring another 3 tries, but maybe developing our ball retention more so, if it means conceding less tries and improving our tackle dominance and tackle completion, then we've taken a step forward from our last performance. But we hope to get through to the next game in a better place. And like you say, the last chance we'll have is probably Canada. So we need to make sure that our game's in the best possible place it can be for that fixture, because there won't be any second chances in 2 weeks' time.
I think we might leave it there. Thank you very much for coming. Thanks PJ, AJ and Mark for attending this press conference. And we look forward and wish everybody luck for tomorrow's game as well. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Just a reminder to the media, make sure you get your match tickets for tomorrow if you haven't got those already. So make sure you have those match tickets. You'll need them to get into the game tomorrow. Thanks very much, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow for the match.
Thanks very much.
Thanks very much.
For your time.
No worries. Thank you.
Thanks, guys. Thank you. Thank you.
Just a bit more level from you.
Testing 1 2 1 2, and having to repeat all of the questions that they've already just answered up there. But hopefully they'll be more relaxed and give us something better. Test, 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 test.
Actually, we're on this side now.
Cheers.
Thank you. How many coming down?
3.
No, 3. Shit, he's upping them now, huh? Are there 3 coming up or there's only 2?
Well, there's meant to be 2, but there's 3 of them, so no doubt they'll
will
the other
come,
one
yeah.
through. Yeah. Because remember that happened with Uruguay. Meant to only have 2, and then the other one said, "Yeah, I want to be international."
Yeah, I want to come too. I want to have them say. Looks like at the press conference, one of them turned up late.
Yeah.
Just walked in.
Yeah, he's awesome. Yeah, he was great. Yeah, but I'm not allowed to eat too many of them.
Right, one more for you.
Who you don't? Whatever. You do the upcoming. Hi guys, I'm the host broadcaster over here, so I'm just going to do a couple of quick questions for all of you.
Good looking ones first.
Come on then.
Let's go.
Sweet as. Okay, so you're there, right. You tell me when. Yeah, I'm going to ask you about your nerves. PJ, you talked about that you are nervous. I'm just wondering, how do you keep yourself calm?
Well, we've been training a lot. We've went through everything, and I keep on telling myself in my mind that just keep calm, because the nerves are really sky high.
And tell us a little bit about you. You mentioned that, you know, this is such a big thing because of where you come from.
Yeah, well, I'm a small town boy. Grew up in a very, very small town. Went to the big city for a few years. Played some university rugby, and then back home. I've been back home for the past year, and well, it's just been a great experience for me. And to be able to compete on the big stage, it's very big. It's a feeling I can't explain.
Now, when you go out there at the end of the game, have you got a list of objectives that you want to achieve?
I do. I have personal small goals that I'm setting up for myself before each game, and I tend to work by them and trying to achieve as much as I can.
You're going to tell me what they are?
Unfortunately not.
Okay, good luck.
Thank you very much.
No worries.
Thank you.
Smash somebody.